Good morning and welcome to the Oasis Center for Spiritual Living, where we come together as one, providing spiritual tools for our daily living. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Tucker. I'm the senior minister here at the Oasis, and I have this wonderful team that God has gifted me. That includes Oz, who's on his way to Wisconsin. But we bless you on your way, and we will miss you, and have a good trip. And then we have Faith, my trusty assistant, who has actually been my assistant since the day she was born. We used to put her on the pulpit when I would do announcements when she was a little itty bitty baby. And, you know, as she grew up, she grew in her responsibilities to where she was handing out affirmation cards at the end with her sister. And now she's 17 and my official assistant. And so I'm really blessed to have Faith with me. She also has been functioning as our soloist, and we'll be doing one of the songs today. So thank you, Faith, for being here. Yeah. And then, of course, the great Albertina Giuffre, which we refer to as Tina. Tina has been a soloist in our church, since like 2000. And she's here back with us. She's had to take a little break, and she's back with us today for the crying season, as she put it.
I got my tissues ready.
Yeah, okay, good. As long as you got your tissues ready.
You make me cry all the time.
I know. Well, I'm doing my job, Yes, I'm here to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. That's my job. Thank you, Tina, for being here. We so appreciate you. All right. And today's topic is Memorial Day. Imagine that. So we're gonna change things up a little bit. I am gonna do all the announcements ahead of time, all that good stuff, and then take the offering and get all of that out of the way, because I want the service I want to leave you with all of the good meditation and songs and all of that when you leave. So we're going to change things up a bit. We'll probably, Faith will be singing at the beginning, not at the actual beginning of the service, but pretty close to the beginning. And then Tina will be doing it later on when we're actually doing our candle lighting service. So thank you for being here. I know there's 1,000 places you could be on a Memorial Day weekend. Of course, the weather's not all that great, but I don't know wherever anybody is. Some places, I'm sure the weather's wonderful, but not here in Colorado. Anyway, say hi, hello, good morning if you're here. I used to be able to look out into the audience and say, see who was here. I can't do that on StreamYard, so I really appreciate it if you would say hello, good morning, hi, whatever way you would like to greet us, just so we know who's here. And if you'd like to do a watch party, there is a watch party button that you can use. And it's a great way for people to see what kind of service we give. And also so you can talk to people back and forth during the service. You can't bother anybody, right? We're going to do away with our normal songs that we do in the very beginning and just move right into the announcements. So let's see here. First of all, we have a wonderful ministry of prayer. We have this great team of licensed practitioners from coast to coast that whenever you put a prayer request in, they will pray on that every day for a week. So take advantage of this loving service they provide. If you would like prayer for something, please put it in the comment section. If you would like it to not be public, you can always DM me or Faith, and we will make sure that prayer request gets on our Facebook private page that only the God Squad has access to, and all the prayers are private that way. So the God Squad is really licensed practitioners for the most part, but we also, you don't have to be a licensed practitioner. If you are willing to keep the prayers confidential, willing to do affirmative prayer every day for a week, and you follow through on that commitment, you too could participate in our God Squad. So if you would like to do that, please type yes in the comment field, and then Faith will get you put on that list. Okay. And if you would like to know more about what we do, when we're about to do something, before the public gets the message about it, you can join our public-facing Facebook group page by just typing more in the comment section. And Faith will get you added to that. All right. So first off is Brooks and Bailey. Let me see if I can get this thing up here. Here is one of the bracelets. And as you can see, this clasp is really cool. You stick that thing through. But she has all kinds of mala beads and bracelets. All of the proceeds go to Rocky Mountain Lab Rescue, a very worthy cause. And you can reach her through Brooks and Bailey 0307 at Gmail. Then also we have Faith, if she would like to get on and announce her company here.
So we have the Mystic Brew. This is a metaphysical shop. Definitely check it out. It has our website, as well as we are available on Etsy. We've also got social media, Mystic Brew 303, so definitely check that out. We have bath salts as well as intention jars, so definitely keep your eye out. There will be new product hitting in July as well.
Alrighty then. So here is one of her intention jars that she made for me for abundance. I don't know if you can see it. And this one is $15. So very nice. All right. And as always, we always like to acknowledge the people that provide their music for us to use every Sunday. Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver is one of them. You can go to her website and see what she's got available. You will have to reach her through email just to find out where to send the money. She's traveling all the time singing, so I never know where she is or, you know, how to get to her. And she can't update her website, so it's not like she can put things on there like her Cash App or Venmo or whatever it is that she uses. So you'll have to contact her directly. And then Karen Drucker, who has gifted us her entire collection of songs, like 20 CDs worth, for us to use. And her website is working, so you can click on that. You can purchase one song. You can purchase a CD or multiple CDs. You can get songbooks, and even some of the songbooks have American Sign Language in them. So Faith did one song from there, which was really cool. And then check out our website, www.oasiscsl.org. It's a good way to see like past sermons, current sermons. We have audio files for the past sermons. We have video files for the current sermons. I'm working very hard to get the 10 Weeks on the Road to Prosperity. I've had to delete them twice now because I keep forgetting weeks as I'm uploading them, and I want them to be in order. The first time I did it 10 through whatever, and I thought, no, that's not right, because people will see the 10th one and not realize. So then I deleted all of them, and then I skipped one for some reason. So I'm working on getting those up there. You can get to those by YouTube or our website, and the past sermons you can get to through our website or through SoundCloud. All right. So all that being said, what I'd like you to do right now, whether you are watching in current time or you're watching later, is to go to our website, oasiscsl.org. About 2/3 the way down the page is going to be our offering affirmation, and then directly below that is the Contribute Now button. So I'd like you to say this offering affirmation with us, because it blesses the money not only for you, but for us as well. Anybody who touches that money, really. Okay, so go to oasiscsl.org. About 2/3 down the page is our offering affirmation. Please say that with me now. This perfect gift is spirit and form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive. And so it is. All right. That is everything, I think. Did I get everything? I think I got everything. Okay. Like I said, we are not doing our normal order of service, so we're not doing the music we normally do from Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver and Karen Drucker, but we're going to have some special stuff for you today, so you're going to love it. So if you are here, please say hi, good morning, hello, however you would like to greet us. If you like something you hear, please use the thumbs up button and let us know you like it. If you love it, we love to get love. So send us hearts. And if something that we sing or say today strikes you as really, really significant, you can always use the wow button. Let me know I'm on target here. And we kind of have a ritual here, so we're going to follow the same ritual we do. I've got some additions this time, but I'll get to that in a minute. So there's times when we humans can be so forgetful, can't we? I'm like, I will go into a room and forget what I went in there for, and I may have to make 2 or 3 trips in there to figure out, what it was that I actually wanted. And then, did you ever get to your car and reach for the keys only to discover that, they're in the dish by the door? That's what happens to me anyway. And then there were several times I know, like when Faith was working here, I'd be running around trying to find my glasses and she'd go, they're on your head. Anybody else have that problem? I know it's just age. I get that, but it just is so disturbing. But we are such forgetful beings, we human doings, Imagine not remembering your own phone number or your own address. Wouldn't that be scary? My dad went through dementia, so I know it can happen. There's a story that I always like to tell about Einstein's secretary who gets a phone call and this person says, "Excuse me, can I speak to Dr. Einstein?" And she says, "Sorry, he's not here at the moment." And this caller says, "Well, could you tell me where he lives?" And she says, "We aren't allowed to give out that information." And as it turns out, it was Einstein calling because he couldn't remember where he lived. Isn't that crazy? Scary. Here's this brilliant man, and he was so forgetful that he forgot his own address. I just, every time I tell this story, I just like, God help me if I ever get to that point, right? It's really easy to forget people. The last convention that Dr. Fred Vogt went to, he wasn't going to go. We were going to go to Seattle, and he wasn't going to go. He said he didn't really feel up to it. And his wife, Dr. Kathy, and I, and a few others, I think it was, convinced him to go. And I'm so glad we did, because that was the last convention for him. About a month later, he made his transition. And so the reason that he decided that he wanted to go was because he said, it's so easy to forget people, and I don't want to be forgotten. Now, here's a man who was the senior minister at Mile High Church for 40 years. And like when he first started there, excuse me, there were only 40 people in a theater. And in 1994, well, we had this wonderful sanctuary. I liked it. People say it looked like a spaceship or a spider. It was on 6th and Garrison. You might know it by the description of it. But I loved it. And it was funny because in 1994, we did this project, the Renewal Renaissance, actually, is what we called it. And we built a new sanctuary. And it's wonderful. I mean, the old sanctuary fit about 1,000 people. The new sanctuary, I believe, seats 5,000, and they do 3 services. So that you can imagine how big that is. But anyway, he was the senior minister for 40 years. And imagine all the thousands of people that went through those doors that saw him and took classes from him and all of that. And if he wouldn't be remembered, can you imagine the rest of us? And then on top of that, he served the organization that we were affiliated with as the president. He served, in whatever capacity they wanted him to serve, he would serve, whether that was his own church or the affiliate organization. And so millions of people, he had a TV show, for many, many years. So millions of people knew him. And if he was afraid of being forgotten, I mean, what chance do the rest of us have? I'd like to think people will remember me, but, I don't quite have that audience. And so I think about that a lot. Last week, actually, it's so weird. Last week, this friend of mine who's a psychic texted me and said, there's this older woman that wants you to know that it wasn't your fault. And I'm like, what? So we went through all the names of all the elderly women that I know that have passed away over the last several years. And, as a Dr. Marjorie Staum and, Reverend Kathleen Vogt and my mom and Kathleen Lenover, Dr. Kathleen Lenover, Reverend, I think she was only a Reverend, Kathleen Lenover. And so I said, describe this person to me. And she said, she's really short, sassy. And I went, oh, it's Dr. Kathleen Vogt. Of course, it's Kathy. And so she had a little conversation with her, and Kathy said there was nothing that could be done. But it's so funny because I don't think about all of that so much anymore. I think of her, I can't forget her and Fred, because every time the clock turns 11:11, I remember and I say hi. Fred used to have this thing about 11:11 being the magic hour when the worlds collided and you could talk to the dead and they could talk to you, communicate. And so every time I see 11:11, I go, hi, Kathy, hi, Fred, but it is easy to forget people. It's so easy. And so I found out last week also, which is so weird. It's like in preparation for Memorial Day, all these things started to happen. I found out that a friend of mine from high school passed away on April 29th. Her name was Ann Rademacher. And, we had gone through school together. We had a great time. I don't think we were like best buds or anything like that, but we were very friendly. And I kind of had forgotten about her until we had a class reunion. And at the class reunion, she and Aldana Roth and I all got together, and, we vowed that we would go to every reunion. We wanted to see each other more. We stayed in touch on Facebook. We communicated all the time. And right before the last one, a couple of years ago, I said, hey, are you coming to Denver for it? Because she was in the Little Rock, Arkansas Zoo as a gorilla keeper. Greatest, I have never known anybody that had that kind of position. And in the obituary that I read was about Jane Goodall. She met her. And she had been at the Denver Zoo as a gorilla keeper, and then went to the Little Rock, Arkansas Zoo to do that. And so people would call from all over the country to get her advice on some of things. And so she worked with special needs chimpanzees too. And so she passed away April 29th. I did not know that. She didn't come to the last reunion. She just said, I can't make it. She never said anything. We didn't know she was even sick. She's been sick for about 2.5 years. And so imagine my surprise, but it's not like I had ever forgotten her, but people kind of slip in and out of your life, and sometimes you just don't even think about them. And so one of the reasons that I like to do the memorial service that we do is because I won't be attending her funeral already happened, but a lot of times we can't be at the funeral. We can't be there to say our last goodbyes. We can't be there to share our memories with family and friends of these people. So that's why I like to do what we're doing today. And so that's a perfect setup for Faith to come and sing a song for you right now. Here's Faith.
Will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for the memories. Remember the good times we had. I let you slip away from us when things got bad. How clearly I saw you smiling in the sun. Wanna feel your warmth upon me. I wanna be the one. And I will remember you. Will you remember me? let your life pass you by. Weep not for the memories. I'm so tired, but I can't sleep. Standing on the edge of something much too deep. It's funny how we feel so much, but we cannot say a word. We're screaming on the inside, but we cannot be heard. And I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for the memories. I'm so afraid to love you, but more afraid to lose. Clinging to a past that doesn't let me choose. Once there was a darkness deep and endless night. You gave me everything you had, oh, you gave me light. And I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for the memories. And I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for the memories.
Sorry. Thank you, Faith. That was wonderful. Thank you. Excuse me. Don't you just love technology? The point is that we need to remember people not only after they've made their transition, but remember them while they're still alive. We don't honor them enough, I think. When we take flowers to the grave, you know, I think that's a wonderful gesture, but I think flowers are for the living. And I think we should be giving flowers to each other all the time. I always have fresh flowers. Let's see. I always have fresh flowers for the service, but, you know, Mother's Day and all of that, everybody always gives me flowers because I love flowers and they know that. And I think flowers are for the living, and I think we should do that for each other more often. It doesn't have to be a special holiday. There was this woman on a commuter train one time at the commuter train station, blah, 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 that this cop noticed, and she was bowed over the steering wheel sobbing. And it was obvious that she was pretty upset. So he goes over and he says, "Is there anything wrong?" And she's half laughing and half crying. And she said, "For 10 years, I've been driving my husband to the station every morning to catch this train. And this morning I forgot him. I got all the way to the train station and noticed that he wasn't in the car." Talk about being forgetful, right? I don't think I could ever forget Lynn like that. I've forgotten my dog was in the car several times because she's so quiet, Smokey. She's so quiet that, you know, you forget she's there, and I look over and I'm like, oh, oh, that's right, you're in the car. But I've never really like left my husband at home or whatever and forgotten, when I was taking him somewhere. But I think about how forgetful we are as human beings, and it's so easy for that to happen. So on this Memorial Day weekend, we need to think about the people that God put in our lives. They're in our lives for a reason, for whatever reason. Sometimes that's to be a master teacher. Sometimes that's because we need to experience love. Sometimes that's because, well, actually every time it's because we need to experience love, whether that's self-love or love of another person. Or God's love. I mean, because truly we are agents of God's love in the world. And so we were put here for that very purpose, to focus our attention on the love of God and give it to others that way. And so lay down. Duchess, stay here. Sorry. I have a dog running wild this morning, and she is wild right now. I don't know if it's the rain or what it is. Stay. Anyway, she's a 1.5 years old and she goes crazy. But we're here to love all people. And there are sometimes that we love more intensely, or there's sometimes we need more love from others than they can give us, that they're willing to give. And it's all right. It's okay. Wherever you're at, it's all right. But it's about remembering. And we think of people in two ways: those that have passed on, that we honor by lighting a candle, and those that are still with us. And what we need to remember is that there's going to be some times when people are hurting and need our love more times than others. And it's kind of our job on the earth to provide that. I'm not saying, to be codependent or whatever. I'm just saying that sometimes we just need to be the beacon of God's love here in the world, because God can't come in person and be there with them. Sometimes the only comfort that can be offered is holding hands or putting an arm around somebody's shoulder. But it's important for us to remember that we are vessels through which God's love flows. I like to think of it like there's this big funnel, right? God's love flows into me like this, comes down through me, and then there's a funnel that is an outlet, and that goes out to other people. And I get to keep a little bit of that love inside me, which is really nice. It feels really good to be there. But it's like God's love just flows through, and I think that's our function here on earth, to reveal more of God's love to each other. So while we're remembering these people that are still living, it's a good opportunity to remember that is what we are, vehicles through which God's love comes through. And when people need love, they need to be remembered. There's this little poem that I like to share with you. It's called Something Good About You. Wouldn't this world be better if folks we met would say something good about you and treat us just that way? Wouldn't it be fine and dandy if each hand clasped warm and true with this assurance, I know something good about you? Wouldn't life be much more happy if the good that's in us all were the only thing about us that folks bothered to recall? Wouldn't life be lots more happy if we praise the good we see? For there's an awful lot of goodness in the worst in you and me. Wouldn't it be nice to practice that way of thinking too? You know something good about me, and I know something good about you. There's something good in all of us, and we need to look for that good. We need to praise that good, because that's what it's all about. Dr. Marjorie Stamm used to, in her classes, she used to hand out these they were little cards, but they were only like this big, and it says, look for the good and praise it. And I had it on my window. It's probably been a good 30 years since I got those. And I had them on my bathroom mirror, and this poor thing is so dilapidated. It's falling apart, but I won't give it up, because it reminds me of Dr. Marjorie, number one, but number two, it reminds me to look for the good and praise it at all times, because she was a big proponent of that. Look for the good and praise it. And she was all forever saying, praise God. This is the day that God has made. Praise God, that you're in my life. Praise God, So we put them up on our bathroom mirrors, our refrigerators, our cars, anywhere we could see them and remember to praise God. So here's a story entitled Dad's Glimpse of Heaven, and it's written by Edna Hirschberger. And she said it was his last words that left us something to look forward to. At 4 a.m., the nurse woke Dad to give him a breathing treatment. Mr. Hirsch, do you know where you are? Goshen Hospital, he answered politely and closed his eyes again. She wrapped the blood pressure cuff around his arm. Mr. Hirsch, who's the President of the United States? Dad looked at me with an expression that said, do I really have to answer these silly questions in the middle of the night? She raised her voice. Mr. Hirsch, who is the President of the United States? He said, do we have one? Good answer, Dad, I teased. Don't you just love it? Like you're in the hospital, they wake you up for blood tests or silly questions or whatever. You're trying to get rest, right? And they won't leave you alone. I can certainly relate to that. So I said, good answer, Dad. The nurse laughed loudly, gave him a mock punch on the shoulder, put an oxygen mask over his face, and turned on the noisy machine. I guess you're awake and alert. A week or two, that's how long the doc said he might live. And we wanted to make the most of every minute. I was glad to sit with my father-in-law during the night while my husband Dwight slept on a sofa during the night in the visitor's lounge down the hall. Sweet memories. I brushed the damp hair from his forehead. I wonder how it feels to know that you'll be seeing God soon. It feels good, Dad said without hesitating. It's such a mystery. Tell us what you feel and see and hear to help us understand what you're experiencing. I'll try, he promised. Are you scared? No, he said. I feel at peace. I've been wishing to go to heaven all day. That was Tuesday night. In 4 days, Dad would be transferred to the nursing center where he'd hoped he'd never have to go. I thought about Dad falling asleep and not waking up, and there were some things I wanted to tell him. Hey, Dad, soon after Dwight and I started dating, he told me what you said about me. You told him he picked a good one. You told him I was a peach. No one has ever called me a peach before. And I've loved you ever since. He squeezed my hand and closed his eyes. I better be quiet and let you sleep, I apologized. No, he said quickly. I want you to keep talking. I just can't keep my eyes open. Suddenly, Dad jumped as though startled by something. I sat up, held both of his hands in mine, and put my face close to his. Is something wrong, Dad? His eyes were open, but he didn't seem to see me. I'm leaving, I thought I heard him say in a weak voice. Did you say I'm leaving? I asked quickly. I'm leaving, he repeated more distinctly. He surely couldn't mean dying. Not yet. I tried to think of some appropriate last words to say in case this really was the end, but my mind went blank. I started to say, I love you, but he interrupted me with one word. It sounded like cold. Oh, you're cold? I tried to reach for the blanket, but he wouldn't let go of my hand. He tensed and quickly spelled it out for me, with emphasis on the G. G-O-L-D, gold. G-O-L-D, gold and silver. G-O-L. I was shivering. My heart was pounding. I leaned my head against the cold metal bed rail. Lord, please carry him gently, I prayed. We love you, Dad, I kept repeating. As he took 4 long shuddering breaths, and then he was still. His hand went limp. I should call the nurse, I thought, but I couldn't move. I sat there in the darkness, holding Dad's badly bruised hands with intravenous fluids still running into them. My forehead seemed fused to the bed rail. Tears ran down my cheeks. 6 inches from my face, something supernatural occurred, something far greater than my mind could absorb. I knew God was in the room, but I couldn't see or feel. I longed to be able to see what Dad had seen. I gently laid Dad's hands on the bed and walked out to the nurse's desk. I dried my cheeks and blew my nose. Excuse me, I said. My father-in-law is gone. She jumped out of her chair and said, What do you mean, gone? He died, I said with a sob. That can't be, she stammered. He was just joking with me a few minutes ago. She grabbed her stethoscope and rushed into his room, turning on the lights and calling his name. I walked down the hall to tell my husband that his father had just gone to heaven, and there really was gold there. I didn't have the luxury of either seeing my mother or my father go, and sometimes I think about that, about how nice it would have been to do that. I've had the curse and the blessing of helping a couple of people pass, but not my family, which sometimes is a little hard. And now I think about the people whose family members had COVID and passed without them even being able to be in the hospital, when the last words that they said to each other were by video chat. And I think about how hard that would be, not to be able to, knowing that they were going and not being able to do what they needed to. I didn't know my dad was going. Well, I sort of did, but I didn't. And I never knew my mom was going. That was a complete surprise. So for some people, Memorial Day is about picnics and barbecues and boating on the lake. And it means food and family and fun. But for most of us, it's a time of remembering those that have touched our lives, whether they've gone before us or they're still with us. It's a time for remembering. And that's what we're going to do today. We're remembering. We all need to remember people in some form or another. Someone once said, "Say goodbye to me, but not the thought of me." I think that's a lovely sentiment. Remember your loved ones that have gone before you. Remember and appreciate them. Remember and rejoice in their good. Remember and praise God for them. And it doesn't have to be humans only, because I think animals are people too. If you have someone in your life who has died and would like to honor them, we're going to give you an opportunity in a minute to put their name in the comment field, and I'll speak their name into the room while I light the candle for them. So we want mothers, fathers, children, other family members. I've got one candle. I don't know if you can see all 3 candles. I have one candle for family members and friends. I have one candle for all of our 4-legged kids and our feathered kids and our reptile kids, even our god animals. My mom used to say, "That's my god doggy." But we have one candle also for people who are family members of someone who has died from COVID-19, for family members of soldiers, people we don't know but want to honor today. So do me a favor. Tina is going to sing a beautiful song, one of my favorite songs on the planet. And while she's singing that, if you could just put in the comment field who you would like me to honor, to speak their name into the room and light a candle in their name. So without further ado, here's Tina.
All right, my pod isn't working, so I'm going to have to get a choir ready. I'll be right back.
Okay, while she's doing that, I'm going to place, there we go.
I light a candle in your memory, though I don't know who you are, and I wish upon your family, I wish upon the stars, and I pray that they'll find peace someday. I pray they make it through. I light a candle in your memory to honor you. I light a candle for America. May we feel the peace inside, and we hold each other closer and wipe the tears we cry. And I'll pray we'll bond together, and I pray that we'll pull through. Light a candle for America, for me and for you. And we will light the world with our love. Well, I know we will light the world with our love, with our love. I light a candle for humanity, for the good that's yet to come. As we overlook our differences and join now as one. And we'll pray we'll come out stronger in this world I'm dreaming of. I light a candle for humanity, to be a world that's living in love. And we will light the world with our love. Every day and everywhere we will light the world with our love. Know that we can, and we will light the world with our love. Candle for humanity, for the good that's yet to come. As we overlook our differences and join now as one. And I'll pray we'll come out stronger in this world I'm dreaming of. I light a candle for humanity, to be a world living in love. I'll light a candle. I light a candle. I light a candle.
Thank you, Tina. Oh, you sang my favorite song. Thank you very much. All right, so here we go. I've got my list. And I hope you can see what I'm doing. Don't just come back over here and lay down, please. Can you see all three candles? Okay. All right, so the first candle I light will be for family and friends. That's this candle here. And I will light this candle in the names of Mary, Leon, Anne, Kathy, Kathleen, Marjorie, Eva, Evie, Rex, Sean, Terry Lynn, Rachel, Lenny, Larry, Leon. Oh, I said Leon. Danny? Yeah. Danny and Neft. The second candle I am lighting now for our furred and feathered family, for Coda, for Chakwa, for the second Chakwa, for Muffy, for Maui, for Marley, and for Doug. This third candle that I light is for humanity. And as we light this candle, maybe if I can get it lit. Come on. Carson doesn't want to light. Isn't that funny? There we go. Finally. As I light this candle, I am remembering all those who have died in Afghanistan, all around the world, for America, for any country, for our families and friends, for anyone that they were fighting for. I remember all of the people who have gone on from COVID, because I know that as our world begins to open up a little bit more, we may have forgotten how many of those people have made their transition. So today we honor that. And so I light a candle for humanity. I light these candles in the memory, in the honor of everyone. And as we have lit this candle, we've activated the light of the world. We've lit these candles and acknowledged that these people and animals that have come before and gone on. We are now acknowledging God's light in the world. And I think that's a really important thing to do on this Memorial Day weekend. And I know that sometimes it feels like we can't go on when there's been a death in the family in particular, that we feel like our heart will never recover. And I want to say that life goes on and that we can go on. And God's love is evidence of that. Hey, enough, guys. Oops, I'm trying to pull up a video here. Where'd it go? You always like this to be smoother, but it never seems to go as smooth as you'd like it to. I know I have it here somewhere because I know Faith did it. Ah, there it is. Here we go. Actually,
set it free, down on the altar of love.
can you hear it okay?
I was walking through the season of dark and lonely change, where the world was on my shoulders and my faith was rearranged. Knew I'd never been given more than I could bear. Spirit reassured me there was an answer to my prayer. If I lay it down, it's free,
that it's free.
Heart rest and let it be down.
Lay it down,
Free,
that it's free.
down on the
The altar of love.
So every single moment I am left with the choice. Stay in separation, listen to that voice that beckons me to open and be grateful for every day. It simply reminds me that there can be another way. If I lay it down,
Lay it down,
it's free,
set it
free. Let
free.
my heart rest and let it be. Lay it on down, lay it on down, set it free, lay it down on the altar of love. Love is all there is. Love is all there is. Love will lead the way. Love will lead the way. Lay it down, lay it down. Set it free, set it free.
Set it free.
My heart.
on the altar of love.
I'm gonna lay it down. I'm gonna lay it down on the altar of love.
Oh, thank you so much for being here today. Let's move into a prayer. You stop this.
I'd like to take this moment.
Oh, right now I'd just like to take this moment to acknowledge the power and presence of God right here, right now. The all-knowingness, the all-beingness, the all-powerfulness, the all-presentness of God in every moment of every day. For God is simply all there ever has been, all there ever will be, and all there is right here, right now. It is in this awareness that I find myself in the midst of God, my very essence, my very life, my very being. It is who and what I am, and every thought, every action, every deed is guided and led by that one infinite power, that one infinite presence of God. I know that the wisdom of the ages lives within every team member as well. For Oz, for Lynn, for Tina, for Faith, for we are one, and God flows through us, guiding and directing all our actions in service to that infinite power, that infinite presence of God. I know this same truth to be so for Mary, for Anne, for Kathy, for Kathleen, for Marjorie, Eva, Evie, Rex, Sean, Terry Lynn, Rachel, Lenny, Lon, Danny, Lori, Leon, oh that's Leon, Neft, and Larry, can't read my own writing. For Coda, for Chakwa, and Chakwa again, for Muffy, Maui, Marley, and Doug, for all of the people in the world that have lost a loved one, for everyone who is watching here, whether that be in real time or later on, for I know we are all one power, one presence, one life. There is no place where one leaves off and the other begins, whether they are living in this human form or in another realm. We are all one. Matakue Asin. So I bless this weekend in particular, as we are barbecuing and being with family and friends when we're able, while we are celebrating in whatever way we celebrate Memorial Day. I bless it with the memories, the good memories of those who have gone before, as well as an honoring and a remembering of how wonderful it is for us to have family, have friends, to be in the presence of our loved ones that we haven't been able to for so long. I bless that. I bless this coming week, because I know that this week is completely full of those memories, of those connections. And so I give thanks for every name that is in the ministry of prayer today, because I pull back the veil and reveal the truth behind whatever condition they are experiencing as part of the blessing of life. I claim it and name it in their name here and now as good and very good, and my heart fills with gratitude as I let this be so. And so it is. Amen. Thank you for being here today, guys. We miss you. We love you. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Get your vaccines. And we will see you again next Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Bye.